I don't think a lot of you guys understand or appreciate the severe differences that men and women have in terms of how they view dating, relationships, sex, and so on. And I remember the first time, remember it like it was yesterday. This was like 25 years ago, 20 years ago, way back when I was married the first time, when I was a young, stupid beta male in a traditional monogamous marriage. And we were sitting in front of the TV. We were watching one of those shows, 48 Hours or 2020, one of those stupid fucking news shows. And there was a report about a man who was married, had 2 kids, and he found out that his 2 small children were not his, that his wife had been carrying on an affair for many years, and the guy she was hooking up with fathered the 2 children. And he actually proved it. He had paternity tests and all that good stuff. So he got divorced. Good on him. Good for him. A lot of guys wouldn't, but he did. And he was ordered by the court to pay not only alimony, but child support for the 2 kids. And he said, well, whoa, wait a second. These aren't even my kids. The paternity tests are right here. And the courts, as they do, said, fuck you. We don't care. You pay or you go to jail. And his wife said, fuck you. You pay me or you go to jail. We don't care. And he's like, wait a second. They aren't my kids. I'm a victim of fraud. She lied to me, and I had never seen anything like this before. Now today, this is par for the course. Stuff happens all the time. This was, 20 years ago. This is like year 2000, late 90s, something like that. So I was shocked. I had never seen anything like this in my life. And I just remember staring at the TV going, oh my God, this is fucking terrible. I can't believe this. That's kind of what I was saying. And my wife at the time just went like this. She went, oh God, he's being ridiculous. And I remember just turning to her, because she wasn't making a joke. She was 100% serious. Turning to her and I said, what? She goes, oh yeah, he's just being ridiculous. He just needs to pay it. And I said, why? They're not his kids. She goes, oh, come on. Someone needs to pay for those kids. She was 100% serious. This made perfectly logical sense to her. And I said, yeah, someone needs to pay for them. Their lying, cheating mother needs to pay for them. And the guy who impregnated her and created the babies need to pay for them. He shouldn't have to pay for them. He's the victim here. He didn't do anything wrong other than being stupid. And she's like, no, this is just so silly. He just needs to calm down and pay it. And I remember thinking at the time, she lives in a different world than I'm living. As a woman, she's living on planet woman, and I'm living on planet rationality. I know I'm going to get hate for that. I understand. But you understand what I'm saying. She wasn't even living on the same world. She was looking at a completely different thing than I was looking at. We thought we were looking at the same screen. She was looking at something completely different than what I was seeing. She was coming at this from a completely different scenario than what I was looking at. And that's when I started to realize how different women are about this. It's not that women are stupid. It's not that they're insane, kind of. It's not that they have malice or ill intent. It's just their brains are literally designed differently than ours. This is what happens when you talk to a woman, particularly if she's over the age of 33, and she says something like, well, yeah, if you want to have sex with me, that's perfectly fine. You need to take me out to a steak dinner 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Then after all that, after you've spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on me and hours of your time, then I will make the decision as to whether or not I will have sex with you or dump you and move on to the next guy I find on Match.com. Now, to her, that makes perfectly logical sense. That is perfectly fair in her brain. Now, in our brains, we hear that and go, what the fuck? Why would I possibly agree to such an unfair system, right? We men would generally do that, generally speaking. There are lots of other men who agree to this model. And also, to be fair, there are lots of women who don't say that, who don't want to go on a fancy first date. I understand that. I'm talking about the women who do say that. The women who do say that, by and large, if there was a woman standing right here and she said those things, she would get a lot of agreement from the women in the audience. Most women would say, well, yes, that makes perfect sense. Take her out to a fancy dinner date 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and then she can decide if she wants to have sex with you or dump your ass. That makes perfect sense. And we men go, what the fuck are you talking about? Because we live on different planets. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. It's kind of true. Again, women are from planet woman and men are from planet rationality and objectivity and logic. Now, I'm overstating that. There are plenty of men who are irrational. I talk to these guys all the time. They're called left-wingers, or they're called Trump supporters. So I'm not saying men don't ever get irrational. But in terms of these dating, relationship, marriage topics, sex topics, when you're talking to a woman or dealing with a woman or dating a woman, you have to remember she lives on a completely different fucking planet than you do. Even if she says she agrees with you. Some women who are nicer or younger, you'll say something very masculine, like, we know men and women should fuck on the second date. And she'll say, oh yeah, I agree. She's full of shit. She doesn't agree with you at all. She's just being nice. Okay? So you got to remember this. You're not dealing, and a lot of you are victim of this, and a lot of you are guilty of this. A lot of you are guilty of dating women and assuming they're going to act like you, assuming they're going to act like men, and they're going to act logical and rational and fair at all times. And then when they don't, you freak out and you're surprised because you're expecting a woman to act like a guy. She's not. She's going to act like a woman. Plan accordingly.